Listen carefully, right here, right now, because your life is on the edge of transformation. Your entire existence, everything you've been, everything you are, and everything you're going to become hinges on a single point: the conversation you're having with yourself in this very moment. That inner voice, the one that's been telling you what's possible and what isn't, what you're capable of and what you're not, that voice holds the power to completely reshape your life. Let me reveal something extraordinary about your brain. Every single thought you think triggers a biochemical reaction within your body. Each and every word you whisper to yourself activates and strengthens specific neural networks in your brain. So, when you wake up in the morning and silently declare, "I'm not enough," or "I can't do this," you're not just entertaining a thought. You're actively programming your brain to produce that exact reality. Here's the truly astonishing part. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's actually happening around you and what you're vividly imagining or obsessively thinking about. This means that when you shift your thoughts, you don't just shift your mindset, you literally begin to rewire the structure of your brain. This isn't philosophical fluff, it's the cutting edge of neuroscience. Your thoughts carry immense power. Now, I'm about to offer you a challenge that can radically alter your life in just 3 days. 3 days is all it takes to begin the process of rewiring your brain for success. But be warned, these aren't going to be ordinary days. These are going to be days filled with conscious, intentional, laser-focused self-talk that will shake the very foundation of how you see yourself and the world. You see, the majority of people sleepwalk through life. They live in a mental loop, stuck on autopilot, letting their past dictate their future. They wake up every day with the same repetitive thoughts, which trigger the same feelings, which drive the same behaviors, which create the same experiences. Day after day, year after year, nothing changes, because the internal programming never changes. But you're about to break that cycle. When you alter how you speak to yourself, you change your brain. When your brain changes, your internal energy shifts. When your energy shifts, your entire life transforms. It's both that simple and that powerful. Consider this: every breakthrough in human history, every remarkable innovation, every victory began with someone saying yes to themselves, despite a world screaming no. Every significant shift started with an internal dialogue that defied the current circumstances. This moment matters. The stakes are high. Right now, you are either reinforcing the limitations that have held you back, or you're breaking through them. You're either reprogramming your mind for growth or cementing it in the same familiar story. There is no middle ground. Your self-talk is either lifting you up or pulling you down. Over the next 3 days, you're going to learn how to become the deliberate designer of your own destiny. You're going to master the art of using your inner dialogue with surgical precision to rewire your brain, alter your body's chemistry, and shift your entire reality. This isn't about surface-level positive affirmations. This is about deep neural reconstruction. This is not a fleeting motivational high. This is about lasting, fundamental change. This is about going beyond the ordinary, about becoming supernatural. It's about transcending the limits of your past and stepping into the infinite field of potential that exists within you. Are you ready? Because once you fully understand and apply what you're about to learn, you won't be able to go back to your old way of thinking. These next 3 days will create ripples in your consciousness, ripples that will expand into massive waves of transformation across every aspect of your life. Let's take a closer look at what's happening inside your brain every single morning. As soon as you open your eyes, your mind begins running its familiar routines. You start thinking the same thoughts you had the day before and the day before that. These aren't just random ideas floating through your mind. They're ingrained neural programs running automatically, shaping your perception of the world and your place within it. Your brain churns out between 60,000 and 70,000 thoughts every single day. But here's the startling truth. Around 90% of those thoughts are the exact same ones you had yesterday. That means you are literally thinking your way into the same life, the same struggles, the same limitations day after day, without even realizing it. This goes deeper than mere pessimism. When you tell yourself things like, "I'm not ready, I can't afford that, I'm not smart enough," your body takes those words as absolute truth. Your brain releases stress hormones. Your genes express themselves differently. Your immune function weakens. Your energy levels plummet. All of this because of a handful of self-defeating words you probably didn't even notice yourself thinking. Understand this. Each thought creates a chemical reaction. A fearful thought triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. An angry thought floods your system with other neurochemicals. Your thoughts are quite literally creating your biological reality. And here's the crucial point. Your body doesn't know whether these experiences are actually happening or whether you're simply imagining them vividly. That's how powerful your mind is. What's worse, over time your body becomes addicted to these emotional states. That's why real change can feel so difficult. You're not just breaking habits. You're breaking an internal chemical addiction. Your body is fighting to maintain its familiar emotional baseline, even if that baseline is full of misery and self-sabotage. You're hooked on your own inner emotional pharmacy. Your limiting beliefs are not truths, they're not facts. They are simply thoughts you've repeated so many times that they've become hardwired into your brain. I'm bad with money. Relationships never work out for me. I'll never get in shape. These are not your identity. They're just neural pathways that have been reinforced through relentless repetition. Imagine walking the same trail through a grassy field over and over. The more you walk it, the more visible and entrenched the path becomes. That's what's happening in your brain. This explains why people recreate the same circumstances in their lives over and over. They think the same thoughts, feel the same feelings, take the same actions, and attract the same results. But here's the game changer. Your brain is not fixed. It's flexible. It's malleable. It's constantly being reshaped by your thoughts and experiences. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to change its wiring. That means you are never stuck. You can create entirely new neural pathways. You can literally think yourself into a new version of reality. The problem is, most people are waiting for the world around them to change before they'll change the way they think. They want to feel confident before they start speaking to themselves confidently. They want to see success before they start thinking like someone successful. But that's backward. Your outer world is a mirror of your internal state. Your consistent inner dialogue is building your future, right here, right now. Your self-talk is either moving you forward or keeping you locked in place. There is no such thing as neutral thought. Every thought is a vote for the future you are creating. This is why awareness is the cornerstone of change. You cannot shift what you are not conscious of. The very first step to breaking out of your subconscious programming is to notice it, to bring it into the light, to become aware of the loops that have been dictating your life. So what actually happens in your brain when you begin speaking to yourself deliberately and with purpose? There's a powerful concept in neuroscience. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you repeat a thought, You're either strengthening an existing neural connection or forging a brand new one. When you consciously choose empowering self-talk, something amazing starts to occur. Your brain begins to reorganize itself. You're updating the operating system of your mind. Every affirmative thought, every empowering statement is more than just language. It's an electrical impulse that ignites your brain, builds new connections, and weakens old ones. To make this practical, imagine waking up tomorrow morning and instead of saying, "I'm so tired," or "I don't want to do this," you declare with intention, "I'm energized," or "I'm ready for this day." You're not just being optimistic, you're activating different neural circuits, you're changing your biology. It gets even deeper. Remember, your brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined experiences. Olympic athletes have used this to their advantage for decades, visualizing routines, mentally rehearsing every movement, and improving performance without ever leaving the ground. The same principle applies to your self-talk. When you align your inner dialogue with powerful emotion, you don't just think differently, you begin to feel differently, behave differently, and become someone new. This emotional intensity is what builds what neuroscientists call a neural signature. It's a new pattern of brain activity that can radically change your identity. This is how people experience quantum leaps in their lives. They're not just flipping thoughts, they're shifting states of being. Think of each thought as a pebble you drop into the infinite ocean of the quantum field. The ripples from that single thought extend outward and begin to attract back to you similar frequencies. This is not magic. It's not mysticism. It's quantum mechanics. Your thoughts are energy, and energy affects matter. When you practice consistent, emotionally charged self-talk, you're doing far more than speaking. You're broadcasting a unique electromagnetic signature into the field. You are literally becoming a creator of your future. But for this to work, coherence is essential. It's not enough to just speak positive words. You have to feel. Let me explain what this truly means for your everyday life. When you wake up tomorrow and declare to yourself, "I am deserving of greatness," or "I am capable of remarkable things," and you genuinely feel the reality of those words resonate through every fiber of your being, you're not just indulging in optimistic thinking, you're literally restructuring your brain's neural networks and altering your energetic frequency. This is the true power of directed self-talk. It's not simply about swapping out negative thoughts for more encouraging ones. It's about establishing a completely new energetic blueprint that becomes your baseline, your new way of being. It's about teaching your brain to fire in entirely new ways that support the version of life you're choosing to create. Picture it like dialing a radio to a different station. Right now, your mind is tuned into a specific set of frequencies, ones that are based on your habitual thought patterns. But when you engage in focused self-talk with genuine emotion, you can begin to retune those frequencies, tapping into the vibrations of prosperity, vitality, accomplishment, and inner peace. And the more frequently you engage in this practice, the more potent and dominant these upgraded frequencies become. The secret lies in consistency and emotional depth. You can't approach this passively. You have to speak to yourself with such unwavering clarity and emotional force that your body has no choice but to respond. This is how real, lasting change begins, deep within your cells. Remember, every statement you make to yourself is either reinforcing your existing state or paving the way to something new. There is no neutral territory. You are either raising your life experience or anchoring yourself to your current one. Now, let me map out exactly what you're going to do over the next 3 days. This is your blueprint for internal transformation, and it's crucial that you follow each step with precision. These upcoming days are going to feel unlike any other you've ever experienced, because you'll be fully aware of every inner word you speak. Let's begin with your morning process. The moment you regain consciousness, literally the second you open your eyes, before checking your phone, before thinking about your responsibilities, you're going to place your hand on your heart. This simple physical act sends a signal to your system. Something new is beginning. In that delicate state between sleeping and waking, your brain is at its most suggestible. That's your golden window for new mental programming. For the first 20 minutes of the day, you will speak to yourself with deliberate and empowering language. Not just mentally, but softly aloud or in a whisper. This is the day I rewrite my story. Today, a new version of me awakens. Every part of me is stepping into new potential. Feel those words fully. Let them permeate your entire being. During these sessions, you must stay laser-focused. If your thoughts drift toward old concerns or today's tasks, gently bring them back. This is not passive meditation. It's intentional neural sculpting. You're laying down brand new circuits. You're constructing new internal patterns. In the early afternoon, between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m., your brain hits another receptive phase. This is your second window for integration. Step away to a quiet place, your parked car, a hallway, even a restroom if necessary. Take 5 intentional minutes to reconnect with your morning affirmations. Here's what matters. This time, you'll incorporate physical movement. Walk as you speak, use your arms. Let your body embody the energy of your words. The movement anchors your affirmations into your physiology. You're not only thinking differently, you're generating a new energetic presence. Throughout the day, remain vigilant for moments of automatic, disempowering self-talk. The instant you hear yourself say something like, "I can't handle this," or "This always happens to me," interrupt that thought. Replace it immediately with statements like, "I am resourceful," or "I overcome challenges with ease." Don't let a single limiting thought pass through your mind uncorrected. Every word carries power. Every mental shift counts. Then comes your evening process. This is when the real consolidation happens. Between 7 o'clock p.m. and 9 o'clock p.m., your brain begins to organize and store the experiences of the day. This is your final opportunity to impress the mind before sleep. Sit quietly for 15 minutes. Once again, place your hand on your heart. Reflect on the progress you made that day, no matter how minor it seems. Speak to yourself with appreciation and vision. Today, I built new mental patterns. Today, I moved closer to the version of me I'm becoming. Tomorrow will deepen this transformation. Let yourself feel the emotional impact of these words. This emotional charge is what embeds your new wiring. Why are these time frames so essential? Because your brain operates in waves. Periods of peak receptivity followed by periods of rest. By aligning your inner work with these natural cycles, you amplify the effect of every word. You're not pushing against biology, you're working with it. These 3 days demand that you remain in what I call emotional awareness mode. That means consistently monitoring your internal state. If you catch yourself slipping into old patterns, pause. Breathe. Take 3 conscious breaths. Then remind yourself, I am reshaping myself every moment. Keep a small journal nearby. Each time you catch yourself in limiting self-talk, jot it down, then write out the empowered alternative. This isn't busy work. It's documenting your evolution. You're turning subconscious patterns into visible progress. Right before bed, scan through your notes. Read the new, empowering statements. Let them be the final words your mind holds before drifting off. Your subconscious will process and integrate them through the night. Remember, these 3 days aren't about achieving perfection. They're about establishing direction. You may revert to old habits briefly. Don't worry. The important thing is to recognize it quickly and shift. This is an immersion into conscious living. You're not just changing your inner dialogue, you're designing an entirely new internal system. You're creating fresh neural maps that will become the foundation of your future. Every word you speak to yourself over these 3 days is either contributing to this new structure or pulling you back into outdated patterns. Don't underestimate the significance of these time windows. They're powerful doorways to deeper transformation, opportunities for accelerated change when your brain is most ready to evolve. Now, let's look at what's physically happening inside your body as you adopt this upgraded form of self-talk. This is not merely a mental exercise. Every intentional statement you make is triggering biochemical changes in real time. Think of your body as a highly sophisticated chemical laboratory, and your thoughts are the ones directing the entire operation. When you create harmony between your heart and brain using focused, emotionally aligned self-talk, something extraordinary takes place. Your heart starts producing a more stable, rhythmic electrical pattern, a state scientists refer to as coherence. And this isn't just a metaphor, it's measurable. The electromagnetic field of your heart shifts. What's even more astonishing is that your heart has its own neural system and communicates directly with your brain, sending more information to it than it receives. When you place your hand over your heart and speak words of strength and belief, your heart's rhythm becomes more harmonious. This signal is relayed to the brain, which then calms its production of stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. This is why you feel more composed and empowered when you speak to yourself with intention. But it doesn't stop there. As your stress levels drop, your body begins to generate what I call the chemicals of potential: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. These aren't merely feel-good neurotransmitters. They're biochemical instructions that influence how your genes express themselves. Yes, your very DNA responds to the way you speak to yourself. Think about that. Every single one of your cells contains receptors that are influenced by these chemical messages. So when you repeatedly tell yourself, "I am enough," or "I am unstoppable," you're initiating a biological cascade that causes your cells to vibrate at a higher frequency. They start to align with this elevated state of being. This is the essence of transformation at the cellular level. This is also why people who master their internal dialogue often describe feeling physically different. Their energy shifts, their demeanor transforms, their facial expressions become lighter, more magnetic. They're not just imagining a better life, they're becoming biologically tuned to it. Your body is always eavesdropping on your internal monologue. When you consistently speak to yourself with confidence, clarity, and compassion, your cells begin to expect those elevated chemical states. They start to crave dopamine and serotonin instead of cortisol and adrenaline. That's how you create true, sustainable change, not just in your mindset, but in your biology. You must understand, the energy your cells emit is shaped by your thoughts and language. When you dwell in fear or self-doubt, your cells vibrate at a lower frequency. But when you elevate your inner narrative to one of confidence, faith, and possibility, the frequency rises. Your whole system shifts. These 3 days are the beginning of that shift. By aligning your thoughts, emotions, and biology through consistent, powerful self-talk, you are initiating the most profound kind of transformation, one that radiates from your inner world to your external reality. This isn't mystical, it's measurable, it's quantum physics. When your cells begin vibrating at elevated frequencies, they function more effectively in every capacity. They communicate more clearly, heal more rapidly, and replicate with greater accuracy. You are, in essence, upgrading your biological software through the words you speak to yourself. This is why consistency is not just helpful, it's essential. Over these 3 transformative days, every time you intercept a negative internal dialogue and replace it with purposeful, empowering self-talk, you're not just improving your mood, you are biologically reprogramming yourself. You're teaching your cells a completely new way to exist. The drop in stress hormones has a ripple effect throughout your entire physiological system. When you're no longer flooding your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline, your immune system isn't stuck in survival mode. Instead, it can focus on repair, regeneration, and optimal function. Understand this: your body does not differentiate between real and imagined threats. When you say, "I can't take this," or "this is overwhelming," your body reacts as if you're actually in danger. But when you shift your language to, "I've got this," or "I handle challenges effortlessly," you generate an internal atmosphere of strength and adaptability. This isn't just about changing your mind. It's about transforming your entire biological operating system. Every sentence you direct inward is either aligning you with peak cellular function or pulling you away from it. There is no passive or neutral self-talk. Every internal monologue is sparking a biochemical. Here's something crucial to understand. As you adopt this new self-talk routine, your body will resist. You might feel awkward. You might feel like a fraud. Your brain will attempt to lure you back into familiar patterns. This isn't a sign of failure. It's the predictable pushback of a system accustomed to its chemical dependencies. Your body has become addicted to emotional states like anxiety, doubt, and fear. It's used to receiving regular doses of those stress chemicals, and when you deprive it of that cycle, it rebels. But this rebellion is not just psychological, it's physiological. In these moments of resistance, remind yourself that what you're experiencing is proof that transformation is underway. It's akin to soreness after intense physical training, an indicator that your internal structures are being challenged and rebuilt. The discomfort you feel is your neural architecture reshaping itself. There will be moments where a voice in your head whispers, "This is pointless," or "You're just pretending." Recognize that voice. It's not truth. It's old programming fighting for survival. These long-held internal narratives have worn deep grooves in your brain. When you start carving new paths, the old ones don't just disappear quietly. They try to pull you back with comfort and familiarity. But here's what's truly taking place. Every time you resist those old neural impulses and reaffirm your new self-talk, you're strengthening a fresh network of neurons. You're not only thinking differently, you're constructing a different brain. The tension you feel is temporary. It's the friction of evolution, the pain of old identities breaking down to make way for something new. Pay close attention to the signs of change. At first, they might appear subtle. You may find yourself breathing more freely, sitting taller, sleeping more soundly. These are the early whispers of deep transformation. They signal that your self-talk isn't just echoing in your mind, it's rooting into your biology. That wall of doubt you might hit around the second day isn't a warning to stop. It's an indication that a breakthrough is near. It's the last desperate effort of your emotional addiction trying to reclaim its hold. This is the time to hold steady. This is when the new version of yourself begins to emerge. The resistance is not a setback, it's a signal that your old self is unraveling. You'll know this transformation is solidifying when your internal dialogue shifts on autopilot, when negative thoughts arise and you catch them immediately, without hesitation, and replace them with powerful alternatives. That's your new neural programming activating. That's your new identity forming at a physical and energetic level. Remember, discomfort is fleeting, but transformation lasts. Every time you experience resistance and still choose to persist with your new language, you're not just altering your mindset, you're physically reconstructing your brain's architecture. You're becoming a biologically different version of yourself. What matters most is remaining committed, especially when it feels most difficult, when everything inside you wants to retreat to comfort and habit. That's your edge. That's the exact moment your shift becomes real. Don't let temporary emotional turbulence steal your future. This isn't about feeling good all the time, it's about staying aligned with your vision even when it's uncomfortable. That's how true change is hardwired. That's how you forge new neural paths that never fade. That's how your biology evolves permanently. Because when you reshape your self-talk, you don't just alter yourself, you impact the entire field of possibility surrounding you. This isn't just self-improvement, it's a quantum shift. It ripples outward into your relationships, your career, your health, and your future. Watch what starts to happen in your interactions. As your internal dialogue shifts, so will your presence. People will feel the difference in you before you even say a word. They'll respond to your energy in new ways. You'll no longer need to prove yourself, your coherence will speak for you. This isn't metaphysical theory, it's the resonance of authentic energy altering the space around you. In your career, new doors will begin to appear, not because the world has changed, but because you have. Your upgraded self-talk will align your awareness with possibilities you couldn't perceive before. You'll communicate more clearly, decide more decisively, and carry yourself with natural authority. As your internal reality evolves, your external circumstances recalibrate to match it. Your health will follow this shift. As you reduce chronic stress and speak to yourself with care and certainty, your immune system strengthens, your nervous system settles, and your sleep becomes more restorative. Digestive issues, chronic fatigue, or other lingering ailments often begin to shift, not by chance, but through the biological response to your new internal environment. This isn't accidental, it's not a placebo. It's the natural effect of your biology adjusting to a new frequency. Through quantum entanglement, the transformation inside you starts influencing the probabilities outside of you. Each thought, each internal statement, each word of belief creates vibrations that ripple into the field. You become a frequency generator, emitting a signal that calls new events, people, and opportunities into your life. You'll begin noticing synchronicities, perfectly timed conversations, unexpected offers, ideas or people that show up just when you need them. These aren't flukes. They're the feedback of the quantum field responding to your newly aligned signal. This isn't wishful thinking. It's the observable effect of coherent consciousness at work. Your internal dialogue is no longer just a monologue, it's a transmission. A new broadcast of possibility that alters your trajectory. Your DNA is literally expressing in a new way. Your electromagnetic field is emitting a new tone. You're no longer the same person who began this journey. You've become someone who instinctively attracts and sustains better outcomes. This is why this process is so sacred. This is why your self-talk matters. Because it's not just your life that transforms, it's the lives around you too. Your shift becomes a model for others. Your clarity becomes an invitation. Your transformation becomes a mirror that reflects what's possible for those still trapped in old patterns. This is how evolution happens, one awakened person at a time. One self-awareness individual transforming their inner script and radiating new possibilities. That's what you're doing now. You're not just changing your narrative. You're becoming a catalyst for everyone you meet. And right now, in this very moment, you are standing at the threshold of this transformation. Not tomorrow, not next week, not once it's more convenient. Now. So when you rise tomorrow, before you check your phone or return to habit, stop. Be still. Place your hand on your heart. Feel its steady rhythm. Take 3 deliberate breaths and begin the most important conversation of your life. Tell yourself with full belief and complete clarity, "Today I claim my new path. Today my thoughts shape my reality. Today I walk in alignment with the future I am destined to create." Don't just say these words, embody them. Let them vibrate through every cell. Let them dissolve the outdated scripts and beliefs you've carried for too long. Let your body feel the magnitude of what you're stepping into. The universe is waiting for your signal. The quantum field is tuned to your vibration. Your biology is listening. Every fiber of your being is ready. All that remains is your choice. Your willingness to take that first step and begin this new inner dialogue. So think ahead, 3 days from now. Who will you be? What will you feel? What will you have activated within yourself through this process? Imagine the expanded energy, the new insights, the magnetic sense of peace and power. 3 days of intentional, emotionally connected, and coherent self-talk can change the entire course of your life. It can reshape how you think, how you feel, how you move through the world. It can initiate a ripple that touches every dimension of your existence. This is not simply about upgrading your thoughts. This is about stepping into the identity you were meant to embody. This is about aligning with the version of yourself that attracts abundance, joy, health, connection, and fulfillment with ease. This is about now, not when you feel more ready, not after everything is perfect. This is your signal to begin. Let this be the moment that defines the rest of your life. Let this be the beginning of your quantum evolution. Let this be the conversation that transforms everything. Let this